This is the card we're going to make today. I got inspiration from this card that I got in an email from Lawn Fawn, and so this is my take on this card. And so let's begin. Okay, these are the dies that I'm going to start out with. This one right here is the Lawn Fawn Sunrise Backup die. And then these over here are from the Tropical Backdrop die. This that's going to be the water is from the Ocean Wave Borders, and I actually used the smallest one here. And all of these over here are from the Hammock and Trees. And then the Happy Summer is the Happy Summer line border. And as I said, these are the dies that I'm going to start with, and then we'll add on as the card progresses. And I also cut one of the Lawn Fawn large stitched rectangles. It's the biggest one. It's the one that fits an A2 size card. Okay, I'm going to use some Distress Oxide inks to color some of these die cuts, and I'm going to use my Tim Holtz blending brushes for this. I've got a different set for each color, and so I'm going to start by using the yellow, and I am going to put some squeezed lemonade Okay, and I'll use a wet stamp chamois to clean it off, and then a dry microfiber cloth. Okay, next I'm going to want to put orange glow underneath this on those bottom ones. So for this I'm going to use Wild Honey. Alright, and for the sky, I'm going to use some Mermaid Lagoon. Okay, and then I'll put some water droplets on that background. And then I'll dry it off with a paper towel. Okay, and then I'm going to glue this now onto the background. So I'm using some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. Okay, and then while this is drying, I will color the waves blue. Okay, and I'll put some large drops of water on this too. Okay, and I'm also going to color my Happy Summer with the same Mermaid Lagoon blue. Alright, I'll start to color the background, and I'll start with some antique linen. And then I'll use a little bit of frayed burlap. Okay, now I'll do all the tree trunks with the frayed burlap. Okay, now I'll use some Lucky Clover and color in the green parts. Alright, we'll start by gluing the different parts onto these palm trees. And I'll use the Copic marker E57 to color in these coconuts. I'll use the colorless blender to help lighten one side of them, and an E55. Okay, next I'm going to stamp some stamps. I've already cut out the die cuts for these stamps. So I'm going to put a piece of scrap paper in and make sure it's in the corner. And the first one I'm going to stamp out is the little lounging fox here. And so I'll put it in approximately where I want it to be. I'll remove my die cut. I'm going to stamp with some Gina K Designs black amalgam ink. Make sure it's positioned properly and stamp it on the scrap piece of paper. And now that I've scrapped it on the scrap piece of paper, I'm going to put a little bit of temporary adhesive on the back of this negative space for the die cut. And I'm going to place this in here where it looks like it's going to be pretty good. And I will zoom in so you can get a better look. So I think I've got this where it's going to look pretty good. And so the next step is I'm going to put in my die cut. Then I will ink up the stamp again. And then I will stamp it. Let's ink it up again. Okay, nose doesn't seem to want to stamp very well, but you see we get a almost perfect die cut this way. And now I'll do the same thing with all the other stamps that I've cut out the die cuts for. All right, the stamp sets I just used for the little bird, it's the Lawn Fawn Life is Good. Let me zoom out so you can see it. And for the little sailboat, it's the Lawn Fawn Smooth Sailing. And for the little fox and the sunglasses, it's Lawn Fawn On the Beach. Okay, and to give this a little bit more height, I've cut out another piece. This is just, I believe this is Neena Desert Sand cardstock, and I'm going to glue these two together. Okay, I'm going to use some Copic markers to color the fox. And I'm going to use EO1, EO2, and EO4. Okay, for this hammock, which I've also cut out of the brown Neena Desert Sand, I think it is, cardstock, I'm going to put some antique linen on it, just with a blending brush. Okay, and I'll also put on some frayed burlap. Okay, how this is going to go together is this will go inside like that. And we'll just glue the back onto the front now. Okay, for the little sailboat, I'm going to use YR24 and YR27. For the sails, I'll use BGO1 and BGO5. And for the trim, I'll use YR23. Okay, now I want to start placing everything about where I want it. Let's see. Okay, I put a pencil mark on here, and I'm going to want to use one of my ocean wave accents here. Okay, and then we will carefully remove this. And then the boat will go in the water like this. Okay, I will put the water on the back of this. I'm now gluing the tropical backdrop onto the sunburst. And I'm now determining the position of all the other pieces that are going to be on the card. And I'll use my E57 just to add some dot highlights. And E55 to maybe add a little grounding to the trees here. And now I'm determining the position for the seagull. Okay, and I think I would like to mat this before I put it on the card. And so okay, and I've got some Hobby Lobby cardstock here. I'm not sure what size it is. It's larger than A2. I think it's an A6 or something like that. And we will put this okay, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of my clear Wink of Stella that I will just put on the water here. Unfortunately, I didn't clean off my Wink of Stella, and it had some of the blue from the ocean when I put it on the sunburst, because I wanted to put some on the sunburst too. So I got a little bit of green there, but I guess we'll just have to live with it. I don't know how well you can see it, but there's shimmer on here from the Wink of Stella. And so, okay. And here's our card. And now I want to put a sentiment inside. And to get my sentiment straight, I've got a piece of acrylic with grids on them. And I'm going to use this Have a Relaxing Summer with from the Lawn Fawn on the Beach. And here's the final piece. This is the front of the card and the sentiment inside. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.